Hi, this is Barry Selby. Welcome to my daily, regular Facebook Live talk. Excuse me, I'll clear my throat there. Where shall I begin? Well, with the title. This is Messages from the Masculine, number 56. Yes, there's been 55 before this. To give or to receive. And I'll get to the breakdown of that in a moment and a couple of stories about my own less than pretty experiences. But before I do that, let me preface it with who I am and what I'm about, so you may get some understanding of where I'm coming from. As I said, my name is Barry Selby. I am a passionate champion of the Divine Feminine. That's really the undergirding of my work. I'm also a best-selling author, speaker, and coach. I hate the term coach. And a relationship attraction expert for strong, successful women. Okay, that's out of the way. So, to give and receive. This is an interesting question to think about, because there are many debates, perspectives, so I'm just going to give you mine, about which is which and which is better. I always thought, growing up, that being a giver was better. In fact, for most people, I would say that being a giver is more correct, more okay than being a receiver. Although in a seminar I learned many years ago, the instructor said to us that if you imagine that everybody in the world is a giver and nobody's a receiver, who do they get to give to? So that got me thinking about the idea about being on both sides of the spectrum, and the fact what we came to the conclusion of pretty easily is that there is in fact a balance between giving and receiving. In fact, there needs to either be an equal number of givers and receivers, or we all need to be equally able to give and receive. That's the ideal. So if you give more than you receive, you're actually out of balance. And if you receive more than you give, you're out of balance too. I've spent the last 33 years in seminars, teachings, trainings, personal growth industry, that sort of thing. And being a student of human development and personal growth and all these sort of things, one of the things I got to start doing a lot of times in these organizations was volunteer. Because a lot of these seminar companies are based largely on a small core staff and then a large volunteer team that will volunteer to run the events. So I got involved in that very early on, and in fact in one organization I was involved with over 10 years, I volunteered at 77, 78 seminars in 10 years. Now that was unpaid, of course, but I was giving out of service, and service is a giving role. Although for most of you, if you know what service is really about, when you go and serve in the homeless or with kids or with animals, the rewards almost far outweigh the giving. So in fact, giving and receiving are definitely going at the same time. I want to bring this back to the area of relationship, romance, of course. That's my area of expertise and knowledge. And one reason I want to bring it back to that, because I saw a friend's post this morning. Yes, I tend to pick up my ideas from social media posts because that gives me inspiration to think about. And I shared in her post, because she was talking about something, and I won't get into the details, about how her partner and her got together because of the way that he served her. But I won't talk about it exactly as much as talking about my own experience, just to own it and also give you a bit of insight into my own history. I've always felt that I needed to give to my partner more than I received. Now, I don't mean financially, I mean experientially and sexually. Let's be blunt about this. And so in many cases, I was in a place where receiving pleasure from my partner was something I was actually avoidant of and wanted to give to them first. And in one particular relationship, and this wasn't sexual, it was something else, let's just say we had our issues. In this relationship, there was an instance, and we've gone out for a while at this point, a few weeks at least, and we'd had sex very pleasurably a few times. So the physical intimacy was definitely there, and so was the pleasure giving and receiving. Indeed, it was. Memory serves correctly. However, she got sick one night. I don't remember now if it was food poisoning or something else, but she got stomach upset and really upset, and she basically started throwing up. And at one point and it was basically like overnight, so we were staying over there, so we were together. I was actually literally holding her hair back while she was puking into the toilet or the sink, either one. Literally, I was holding her hair back. She was throwing up, which to me was what you do. You know, you help your partner. You're there for them, as gross as it gets, in a sense. It wasn't like we're looking for that, but that's what I did. Issues connecting. Let's see if it stays there. Stay. Okay, we're good? I hope we are. My experience was, and my feeling very clearly was, is that in the case with her, and I'm not outing any names here, there were two things she had challenges with. One was receiving, very clearly, because in that context, where it was that private, and this is the other part, by the way, it was intimate, she wasn't willing to receive. Sexually, yes, but in the sense of helping her when she was down, like out of control, to receive in that level was painful for her. In fact, I would suggest, and I don't have proof of this, but my feeling was she had real issues with intimacy beyond the physical bedroom level of sex, because in her world I would look back on it and say our sex wasn't that intimate. Yes, it can be separate. So I've learned over the years that, as I said before, the balance between giving and receiving should be in balance, because to give more than you receive is out of balance, and to receive more than you give is out of balance. But there's layers of this, and for many of you, I suspect, you have room to grow in both areas, be it intimacy, be it safety, be it trust. Whatever those things are, you can call them anything you want. There are many different parts of this that I would say, do you want to look into? If you're in a relationship, I would highly recommend you explore this with your partner. I'll touch into a couple of things, which is the 5 Love Languages from Gary Chapman, which is a book I recommend highly. I get no benefit from that financially, but I love his work and his really powerful teaching. The 5 Love Languages, which are acts of service, gifts, quality time, words of affirmation, and physical touch. Got them, all 5, that was good. There are a couple in there that are about receiving and giving, acts of service, and also gifts. But it's the act of them that is the giving, not the actual what it is. So it doesn't have to be necessarily the big thing that you give, it can be something small. So if you're in a relationship, I recommend highly you explore that and learn more about it. If you are single, I would also recommend you start looking into your own history, your own life, your own background, and really, how do I say this? Take the time to observe your history, to see what it is you did or didn't do as good as you could. And if you don't feel you were in balance there, which is quite possible, take time to change your internal wiring so you can be in balance. These are part of things I work with my clients on, and I'm not saying that you need to work with me, but I recommend you do something that will provide the opportunity to grow into balance in this area, because then you can find a relationship that will match that and you'll be reciprocal. Because really, ideally, in a relationship, it's about the giving and receiving on both sides in a very even way so everybody wins. Kind of, sort of. That makes sense? That's it. That's really my message. That's really my intention to share this and put this out there as a topic to discuss. If you have questions, please put them below in the comments and I'll respond to them. And if you feel somebody should watch this, please share it with them as well. Again, my name is Barry Selby. This is my daily Facebook Live talk. It's number 56. To give or to receive is the question. That's what's up for me right now. I'll be back in tomorrow to do another one. If you want to watch my archives, you can watch them here on Facebook Live, on my Facebook business page. They're all together. Or watch them on YouTube. I have them there. And I also have my website at barryselby.com/VLOG, vlog, video blog, basically. And they're all collected there. Take this to heart. Consider this. How can you give to yourself? Oh, by the way, it's another piece, another layer. How can you give to yourself when you're single or in a relationship? That fills you up more, so you're not as needy out there for something to come from outside. That's a whole other topic I could talk about. I'm not going to do it now, but that's just something to think about. How can you give to yourself? Which also means, how do you receive from yourself? So how do you play with both of those, so you're actually keeping the cycle inside yourself going strong, so the way you are in relationship outwardly is from an overflow. I talked about that before, about relationships being 100-100, not 50-50. So giving from the overflow. But again, that's a whole other conversation. So just keeping this into the container is about giving and receiving in partnership. Explore that, consider that. If you're joining me now, please go back watch the beginning. But it's something I would say that's worth considering for your own relationship success, your own fulfillment and your partner's fulfillment. There. Nice little bow tied that up with. All right, take care of yourselves. I'll be back in tomorrow. This is my daily Facebook Live. The times generally are later afternoon. Not always, but that's where they tend to be. If you want to watch the archives, they are available for replay on my Facebook page, again, as I said, or on YouTube. Please ask questions in the comments, and please share them with anybody you think might get value. All right, I'll see you again later. Bye.